think we do. Yes, I think we do. Good afternoon, good evening, all. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Item number 2, public comment. Raquel, do we have anyone from the public?
There's no one online.
Okay, perfect. Item number 3, approval of prior minutes, April 21st, 2025. Do we have someone like to make a motion?
Sure, I'll make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Oh, I think Sharon, Bob, Sharon beat you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Old business, hearing none. New business, architect's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Fairly modest update for this evening. Just that we've included the most recent construction administration summary in your files for tonight's meeting, just high-level overview. Last 14 days, 4 new construction RFIs, total of 384, 25 new submittals for a total of 884. So most of the submittals at this point are closeout submittals, warranties, et cetera, making sure that we're getting everything queued up for the closeout of the project. Overall, the project team continues to meet with Gilbane and Colliers frequently. I would say we're in the kind of last mile home stretch here. So when issues come up, you know, the communication level loops get a lot closer and a lot smaller. So Nick and Zach and their team, when things come up in the site, we're having phone calls rather than, you know, waiting for OAC meetings. So overall, everything continues to move very well on site. As typical of this stage of construction, a lot of kind of last minute, you sure we want this here? We sure we want this material here? Getting our interior designers out just to make sure that we're looking at the kind of final finished mock-ups where they are in the field. We have Catherine coming out to the field tomorrow at Zach's request today, just to review some last minute things. Can't say enough about the construction team, frankly, and I'm not just saying this because Nick's mean mugging me on camera here, but they're really doing a good job pulling this project together here in the last month of the job. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
What could you ask after that? After that. So hearing none, we'll turn it over to Gilbane. I don't know who's Zach. Are you taking the lift here or?
Yeah, I was going to take over and help Nick out tonight. He gave me the green light to give the update. So I will share my screen to give some visual reference for everyone to see the progress that's been happening on site. Great. Can everyone see the photos?
Yep, beautiful.
Okay, great. So down on the left, you can right now see curtain wall 8. This is the main plaza is starting to wrap up. Over the weekend, we began a lot of the concrete prep, not just for this portion of the southern side of the campus, but also on the east near the fields. So site concrete is ongoing. We're probably going to be wrapped up with concrete towards next week. And then also next week, we are starting the binder and the top coat paving in the south parking lot, and then we'll transition to the north. So site finishes are ongoing at this time. Flag poles are on site along with other permanent fencing, the basketball hoops, etc. So starting to furnish the site, getting the landscaper ready to come out middle of this month to begin plantings throughout the site. And then on the right-hand side, this is a photo I took from kindergarten this afternoon. So most of the building A, or the west side of the building, is in the state right now, or we're getting close and ready for punch list to begin with Justin's team to come out in a couple of weeks. So the only thing we're holding off on right now is just ceiling pads to the last minute, allow everyone to complete any final work overhead, and then get all of our pads in to ensure that they stay clean before we start ripping up all of the flooring protection as well. And transitioning over to the center of the building, here are a couple photos from the cafeteria / central stair. So a lot of natural light finishes come together. Flooring was completed over the weekend, as it is in the majority of the building at this point. I'd say we're close to substantially complete with flooring and should wrap up a little bit of VCT that's outstanding next week. And painting has been also proceeding throughout the central hub of the building. All the wood is going to be on site next week for the central stair. So quickly, you're going to see finishes in this region start to really wrap up as we get through the rest of May. And then lastly, a couple more photos from the media center. A majority of our finishes are up. You can actually see here when Graham was on site today, he was able to get a sneak preview of some of the custom graphics. We got a couple up on the walls right now, and they're beginning to prep those to install throughout the rest of the site. And then the gymnasium flooring is continuing this week and should be wrapped up by Friday. We're getting ready to go with line striping middle of this week and start the logo Thursday, Friday. So we're in full bore with finishes wrapping up. Like Justin said, we're on phone calls daily now pretty much with Justin and his team, and Catherine's coming out tomorrow to clean up just a few questions that we had. But they've been phenomenal to work with on this home stretch, and we're looking forward to not only wrapping up all the finishes this month, but continue with startups and get ready for a turnover end of May.
Great. Any questions for Zach?
No.
So Zach, now that you're you've been kicked upstairs, you're not doing the photo loops anymore. You
No, I gotta train my new engineer how to do them. So he's gonna be downloading the app and helping me out with that moving forward the rest of the month.
Got it. Well, we're so close. Yeah, we promised another one more drone flight after the paving is down.
Yep, I have them lined up actually to come out on the 16th. So we'll have that drone flight and photos and video ready for the 19th for the next meeting.
Great, excellent. Nick, you got anything to add?
No, just glad Zach did the update for it.
Got it. Beautiful. Moving on to Adam.
Good evening, everyone.
We're flying
so-
through here, so don't throw us off schedule here.
I'll go fast. So similar to kind of echo what Justin was talking about, sort of these last mile topics and kind of finalizing items before turnover. Working with some of the other vendors on their equipment pricing, deliveries. We had a logistics meeting with the playground contractor last week, targeting another site visit from them this week just to coordinate their scope of work. There's some handoff between Gilbane's site contractor and the playground contractor that happens. So we're going through all those items so they can start their installation in June. Similarly, the town is doing a sort of town-wide, campus-wide moving between Ryerson and Jeffrey and Brown and the new school. So there's all the little last bits and pieces with that also to coordinate. So how many printers are actually coming over to the new school? Where is the cutter and the laminator? Are those coming over, or are they getting shipped to a different school? All those lovely fun items that everything needs a home and a place that we're working through, both with the school team and the project team, as well as ultimately getting it on a plan so everything shows up and is where it's supposed to be when we go to open school here in August and September. There will be probably for the next meeting another probably second to last before we get to substantial completion wave of change orders, just since there's some items we've been negotiating, so they're kind of coming in batches so we can keep the work coming. So nothing, as we'll talk about here in a moment, nothing for tonight, but that is something that the team is working on. And some of those change orders will be items that have been picked up along the way. Some of them will be related to some of these closeout coordination items. So do we need another outlet here for this piece of equipment? That kind of thing. So we're working through all that, and we'll regroup on it next time around. And then I think the last thing just to talk about is reference Graham being on the site today. So we had a quick walkthrough for the pollinator bushes along the wetlands area there. So working up some scope to get that installed later on in the summer, early fall. But there's some prep work that Gilbane will be asking them to do. So good walkthrough on site today just to keep that moving, since that's been discussed for literal years now.
It looks like volunteer labor, so we'll be looking for volunteers to help put it in probably in September. So hopefully we're going to start with 4th and 5th graders, but we may need some backup for depending how bony some of that topsoil or the native soils are, but more to come. So we're gonna let the contractor finish up, move the fence and everything before we get out there. So
Happy to answer any other questions. Otherwise, I've got the procurement reference item and invoice packet for later in the agenda.
I think we're good to move on to item number 5.
Yes.
Yep.
So nothing for vote necessarily tonight. In your packet, there is this reference item for something that was previously approved, which was the John Deere tractor. Nothing's changed on the scope. I just got an outreach from the vendor that they had a clerical error on their quote, and it's actually cheaper than what they had initially quoted. So the town's getting an extra $800 back. So just an FYI, purchase order is already updated, but figured I'd share that here. For item number 6 would be the invoice packet. We'll have another typical monthly packet in our next meeting later in the month, but there were a couple of invoices here that were kind of floating about while I had them remove tax and things of that nature. So wanted to keep the money flowing for items that have been delivered. So we have a typical monthly invoice from our commissioning agent BVH for their services, but the 4 you see here from Presidio are for some of the IT equipment that was delivered for the main closet and the intermediate closet as well. So a total of just under $21,000 for this invoice packet.
Got it. Do you have a motion queued up?
I do. It is opening now.
Would anyone like to read the motion?
I will if you'd like.
Thank you, Sharon.
Motion to approve invoice package dated 5/5/25, including invoices from BVH and Presidio for a total approval of $20,983.60.
Do we have a second?
I'd second that.
Thank you. Woody, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, I believe.
Otherwise, that's all from me for tonight.
Beautiful. Number 7, public comment. I assume we don't have any else public comment?
We have Katie Stein from Board of Finance.
Oh. Does she have her hand raised? Would she like
She
to?
does not.
Okay. Okay, if you have anything for us, Katie, feel free, but we'll move on to remarks.
I have something to say.
Yep.
If you don't mind.
Sure.
A week ago Friday, my husband and I went and toured the site, and it was on Rob's last day. So I coordinated to not bug him at an inconvenient time, but it was absolutely fabulous to walk through the building. I got to tell you, I want to give kudos to our architects. Their layout was pretty much what we saw as our schematic, which was basically what got them the job. And that's what was built pretty much, which is absolutely remarkable, number one. But what a wonderful tight plan. And it's so easy to get around. You can't get lost in this building. It is absolutely stunning. I was actually taken aback by how low it is. I mean, when you drive by, you really don't see it. But even on the lot, it's got such a low profile, and it's just really beautifully done. And kudos, Justin and your crew, because I was really impressed and really proud to be a part of it. It was really nice.
Thank you, Sharon.
Good job, Gilbane.
Yeah. Did you see any of the graphics that you were instrumental in getting involved?
No, they weren't up yet. They weren't up
Oh.
yet when I was there. But I did sign my name to the wall because the Board of Selectmen had signed their names downstairs behind the lockers. So I started a column for the building committee, so anybody else who goes can sign their name. And Rob pointed out the beam that were signed, so I could see the beam that was signed, and I found my signature up there, so that was kind of fun. So, but it really does look wonderful. It's really impressive.
Absolutely. Any other comments? It's hard to top that one.
How to top that?
Well, we're getting close. I think substantial completion sometime in early June, then we'll be there. Summer will be over before we know it. So I think the startup of the geothermal system was today. Woody, they're starting to
Oh,
do the commissioning. So
terrific.
the less I have to bother you with that system, I'm sure the happier you and your wife will be. So
Well, maybe Ellen, but not me. I like being bothered.
Well, I don't want to jinx ourselves. We may take you up on that before the end, but hopefully we got this thing.
No, I think
Good night.
we're in great hands. I think Craig did a great job on this design and I'm very happy.
Good. And we're still pushing for the solar. Still don't forget about that. So, I mean, we're gonna get it. It's just a matter how we procure with the money we got left, et cetera, et cetera. But and we're still pursuing the IRA grant, obviously. I think the town campus, as you know, went in. I think so. We're still optimistic that we're gonna get that money. So
Yeah, I think there've been so much pushback from red states that it may stay for a while, which would be pretty wonderful.
yeah, no, I just got a word. I mean, I'm getting a 38 million discretionary grant for the state that we were worried about that they were going to sign. It hadn't been executed before January, but we've just got word today that it's going to be signed.
That's great.
So
That's
that's
great. If we had the PV in there, boy, oh boy, wouldn't that be something?
oh yeah, no, it's yeah. Well, we will. I guarantee you that. Don't worry. We didn't build this building with no rooftop equipment for nothing. Got it. Any other remarks before I ask for a motion to adjourn? What do you want you to make a motion?
I'll make the motion
Okay,
to adjourn.
we'll be consistent. What do you
Yeah.
guys second it for the minute?
And
Make
I
it
will
simple.
second that. You bet.
Okay, keep it simple. Okay, all in favor?
I.
Aye.
All right, thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rain, because we do need it.
Yeah.